In the last video you had a look at what polymers were. In this one you're going to have a look at what the problems with polymers are and how we can solve it. The key issue with polymers is they are non-biodegradable. Nice and simply what this means is they do not rot. So if you put them into landfills, it means that they won't degrade, they won't break down. The microorganisms that normally break down things can't do that for these. So they get built up in here. And over time, the landfills fill up until there's no space and you need to use another one. And the problem with that is that it means that it's going to look bad on the environment. They're going to be there years later. They do eventually start to break down after thousands of years. They're going to release chemicals into the ground and so on. So there are two different ways that we can deal with this problem. The first one is to burn them. So you can take your non-biodegradable polymers and set them on fire. The problem with this is it produces carbon dioxide, which is a greenhouse gas. It can also produce toxic gases, which again can be poisonous, can lead to making people fall ill. The benefits, however, are that it gets rid of them quickly, and it doesn't use up landfills. Now obviously these are advantages, but we have a look at these disadvantages and say they're usually too bad a disadvantage, so we try to do something else. And that's where the second option comes in, which is recycling. So some of the advantages of recycling these polymers is, number one, it conserves resources. We don't need to go and dig up more. We don't need to go and find different types of plastics. We've already got them. We can just melt them and turn them into something else. Another positive is it doesn't fill up landfill sites. And another advantage is that there's less carbon dioxide produced. And the reason for that is because you don't have to use the machinery to dig for more. Heavy plastic. There are some negatives, although you wouldn't perhaps think there are that many, but they do need to be taken into account. First thing is someone's got to sort them. This takes time and costs money. You've got to get people involved. So it's about getting people enthused about it and making sure they actually recycle as opposed to just throwing it into normal bins. And finally, you've got to transport it. So transporting plastics, which gives out carbon dioxide. So in the exam you might well get a question which turns around and says evaluate the positives and negatives of both recycling and burning. Make sure you've read through this video, seen this video, and you can recite it in the exam.